Hey guys, welcome back to Full Stop Reviews, your one-stop shop for all things movies. I'm your host, Matt, back for the first time in about a month. And today we're going to be talking about a movie that came out, about 6 or 7 weeks ago at this point. But a movie that completely caught me off guard. It's kind of like the anti-John Wick. This movie stars Nicolas Cage and Alex Wolff and is directed by Michael Sarnowski. I'm talking about Pig. From an outsider's perspective, I knew virtually nothing about this movie going in, other than that it was about Nicolas Cage trying to recover a lost pig. Which is kind of an absurd premise on the face of it, isn't it? You'd think that it would just be another in a long line of weird indie B-movies that Nicolas Cage has made. I mean, hell, I even reviewed one earlier this year, Willy's Wonderland. That one was him fighting Chuck E. Cheese's in Five Nights at Freddy's, basically. Those are the kinds of movies he's been doing for the past, 10 or so years. Into the Spider-Verse notwithstanding. And so you'd think you'd be forgiven for mistaking this for that. But it's not. So this movie is about a truffle farmer who has completely cut himself off to the outside world. His one connection to the outside world is the guy who buys his truffles, a younger man played by Alex Wolff named Amir, who is his complete opposite in every single way. He's younger, he's wealthier, he's obsessed with his image and reputation, whereas Nicolas Cage looks like he hasn't showered in years. The two of them have to join forces when Nicolas Cage's pig is stolen by people who want the pig's ability to recover truffles, because apparently the chef's game in the Portland area is run like the fucking mob. And then off they go in search of his pig. Now the thing with this movie is that it's not a very violent movie. The only violence that you ever see is kind of inflicted on Nicolas Cage himself. I'm going to try and be as spoiler-light as I can with this, because it is... The less you know about this movie going in, the better, and the more pleasantly surprised your experience will be. The thing with this movie is that it's really, really character-based. So the conflicts, the highest point of conflict in the movie comes from a scene where three people are sitting around eating dinner together. This movie is very quiet and contemplative and just asks a lot of questions. The movie's really about loneliness and what drives people to cut themselves off from other people, why they eschew society in general. There's also a sense of decay about the movie, decay about the value of art, the worth of someone's name, reputation. There's a lot going on in this movie thematically, and a 5-minute video really isn't enough to extrapolate on this. I might do a longer one in the future just to talk about it. And so one of the neat little things about this movie is that it's also kind of about the blossoming of a friendship. And so that's one of the most rewarding things to see in this movie. There's a really stellar quote here where Nicolas Cage is explaining why he wants to find his pig, and he says, "We don't get a lot of things to truly care about," and that just hits you in the feels. So much of this movie just hits you in the heart. And Nicolas Cage's performance is amazing. It has this subtle intensity to it. It's very, very different than anything I've ever seen him do. And frankly, I really, really hope his name is up there in the Oscar lists later in the year. We'll see. This movie is a feature film debut from director Michael Sarnowski, and he just knocks it out of the park. This movie is very sensitive, and it's very thematically poignant, and I really loved this movie. This honestly might be my favorite movie that I've seen this year. It was that good. Maybe it's just because it came so far out of left field for what it is, and what I expected it to be, that I wasn't expecting something like this to happen. But this is just like a total anti-revenge film based around character conflicts and just people sorting out their feelings. It doesn't sound as interesting as I'm not making it sound as interesting as it really is, but I mean, if you haven't guessed by now, green light all the way to this film. But it's so good, guys. Just watch it, and Nicolas Cage just wants his pig back. Thanks for watching with me to the end on this one, guys. I really appreciate you guys sticking around and welcoming back to Full Stop Reviews. We have a lot more stuff planned on this channel. If you like what my friends have been saying in these short little videos about movies, check us out in longer form podcasts called Like Return to the Movie, where we just argue with each other about movies. Also, my friends and I are sadists. We like to make each other watch bad movies for the first time. We got some spooky stuff planned coming up in the next couple of weeks for both of those things. So, are you guys ready for spooky season?
That'll do, pig.